When I moved to the United States, there were lots of things that I missed from Italy. And one of them was the Italian Easter chocolate egg. In Italy, at least 1 month before Easter, or even before, you find the stores full of Easter chocolate eggs. You can find small ones, medium ones, bigger ones, and huge ones. Pastry shops also make very sophisticated and beautiful handmade chocolate eggs. And my parents would buy chocolate Easter eggs maybe 2 weeks before Easter, and they would put them on a hutch all close to each other so that we could see them. And that was always a temptation. We always couldn't wait for Easter to come. And as a kid, it was so exciting because the chocolate Easter eggs in Italy always have a surprise inside. They're not full of chocolate. It's a layer of chocolate and then there is a surprise in there. And the surprise was actually never something so amazing. I was probably always disappointed for the present in there, but I was still excited to don't know what was in there and see what the surprise was. And when I moved here, I was searching for chocolate Easter eggs and I couldn't find them. I mean, I can find lots of fun things here, but I couldn't find those ones. And so I was very sad. Easter was not really Easter for me because I was just so used to have those. I really wanted my kids to grow up with the same tradition because that was a tradition that really made me happy. So my mom, knowing that, gifted me something very precious. This is the mold to make a chocolate egg. So from that time on, I always made my Easter chocolate eggs at home. So my kids and my family members have always been able to enjoy them every year, even if we don't live in Italy. Making them at home, it's cool because you can choose the present to put inside. And so you're sure that it's a good surprise. But why Easter chocolate eggs? Where does this tradition come from? The tradition of exchanging eggs has very ancient origins. The Persians were the first ones. They used to exchange eggs in the spring festivities. And then the Egyptians and the Greeks started to exchange eggs too. The first decorated eggs were documented in ancient China. Then the Christians chose the egg as a symbol of resurrection. Eggs, besides being a symbol of life, they also resemble a rock that it's without life. But inside the egg there is life, and that resembles Jesus Christ's tomb. It looks like it was without life, but then there was Jesus Christ resurrected. The Christians started to exchange boiled eggs in medieval times in Germany. They usually gave them surrounded by flowers and leaves, so the eggs could absorb some natural color. Often people exchanged red eggs because red represented the blood that Jesus Christ shed for us. The rich people instead would exchange gold, silver, or very decorated eggs. Then the tradition kept going for lots of years, and between the 1800s and 1900s, Alexander III, the Russian Tsar, requested to his goldsmith, Peter Karl Faberge, to create beautiful, decorated and precious eggs for his wife. And one of the eggs had a golden egg inside that when opened had two gifts, a crown and a golden cheek. So maybe that's why now we put a present inside the egg. But how did they start to make chocolate eggs? Louis XIV, the King of France, called also the King of the Sun, gave the order to his personal chocolatier to make chocolate eggs. So that was the first time that it's been recorded. People loved this idea, and other states around started to make chocolate eggs too. And these kind of eggs were full of chocolate. They were not empty inside with a present in there. That came later. And the idea of the present, it either came from Faberge when he made that golden egg that had the present inside, or some people think that it came from Piedmont, a region in Italy very famous for making good quality chocolate. Anyway, for the Christians, the present it's in there to remind us that Christ gave us a gift, the beautiful gift of resurrection to everybody. And in the whole world, people have this tradition of eggs in different ways. Like in the United States, there is the Easter egg hunt and the decoration of the eggs. So it's actually a worldwide tradition, but every place has different small traditions, and it's fun to see what everybody does for it. Now let's start with the recipe. Okay, You will need a food thermometer, good quality chocolate. In this case, I'm using milk chocolate just because I like milk chocolate, but you can use the chocolate that you want. Just make sure to use the right temperature because for each chocolate, the temperature that we need to use will change. Then you need 2 different pots, one bigger than the other one. In the bigger one, you put just a little bit of water that is gonna boil. It has to be just a little bit because it doesn't have to touch the smaller pot inside. It just has to warm it up but not touch it. And make sure to have an egg mold. I turn on the heat and I let the water warm up. I put the chocolate inside, breaking it in little pieces. And make sure that the water never goes inside the chocolate because water and chocolate together don't go well right now. Then I turn it and I wait for when it's all melted. You have to let it melt until when it reaches 113 degrees Fahrenheit. And what we're doing now, we are tempering the chocolate. That's the name of the technique. Okay, it's 113, perfect. I take it off from the heat. I grab some cold water and I'm gonna use it to cool down the chocolate. So now I just stir it for a while until when it cools down. Let's check. Perfect, 79, great. And you know, if you're not from Italy, maybe you can make this a new tradition if you want to do something different from other years. Okay, now I put the chocolate inside the pot with water and I'm gonna warm it up just a little bit until when it reaches 84 degrees Fahrenheit. And this will be very fast. Just a minute or 2. And if by chance it gets too hot, it's okay, just lower it again and it's no problem. And 84, great. Now it's ready to be put in the mold. So this will be the first layer. I need to do 2 layers. So I put some in here. Okay, and I put some in here. Okay, and I just do this movement. Until when it covers the whole egg shape. And if you need more, you can add more. I need a little bit more, so just add a little bit. Make sure that it's all covered. Then if there is some chocolate left, you just let it fall back into the pot so that you save it. All chocolate is precious. Now I'm gonna put it upside down and I'm gonna let it cool for 15 minutes. So now I can clean the borders, just like that, so that it's cleaner. Okay, great. So now I'm gonna warm up the chocolate again and do the same process one more time to do a second layer. So I grab the same chocolate, I reheat it at 113 degrees Fahrenheit, then I cool it down to 79, and then I reheat it to 84. Make sure to dry this part of the pot so that no water falls into the chocolate. So now I can do the second layer. Let's do some exercise. This will give us 2 layers, and because 2 layers of chocolate are better than 1 layer. Okay, great. So now I have the 2 layers ready and I'm gonna let it cool down in the fridge for about 30 minutes. The egg should be ready to come out right now. I take away the extra chocolate. So you just do this. Okay, one is out. And then this one, I just have to massage it a little bit and it will come out. And voila! So now we have both sides of the chocolate eggs. Now I'm gonna glue them together. How am I going to do it? With more chocolate. I heated up the rest of the chocolate. I get a ball and I add some paper towel so that this can be a base in which I can put the chocolate egg. I put some melted chocolate on the border. Now I just put it on top very carefully and make sure to cover all the holes. Okay, now I'm gonna put it in the fridge for about 2-3 minutes so that it can dry. And here is my chocolate egg ready. And I personally like to add just something a little special on it. I like to add hazelnuts, and you can add whichever nuts you want. I'm gonna grab some of the melted chocolate and use this one as a glue again for the hazelnuts. Okay, so I just glue them like this. And then I keep going throughout this part of the egg. And I love doing this because they also cover some mistakes. Then I'm gonna let it rest for just a few minutes so that the nuts can really glue on the Easter egg. And this is how it looks like at the end. Now that the egg is ready, I'm gonna use this little cup to hold the egg straight like that. And this is how they put them inside the package in Italy. Then I'm gonna use this food-safe plastic wrap to make a nice package. And you can use the wrap that you want. Like, there are so many colorful ones, but I like to show what's inside with this clear one. So I'm just gonna cut a rectangle. I'm gonna put the egg on top of the paper. Then I'm gonna cut it. Okay. And I'm gonna use a little fabric ribbon to be able to close the package. I like to do a nice ribbon, so I'm gonna do it maybe long like this. Okay, so this is ready. So now I'm gonna grab this from the corner and then add the other side. Okay. Perfect. And then this will be the ribbon. I'm gonna first seal it, and now that I sealed it, I can just do a nice ribbon. Great. And here is my homemade chocolate egg, ready to be gifted to somebody. I love it like this, and I think that it looks so fancy and cool. And in the past, my friends always loved to receive something like this. My kids and my husband really like the one kind of like Kinder chocolate. And it's very easy to make that kind. You just make the second layer with the white chocolate. Happy Easter! Don't eat too much chocolate. No, actually, eat all the chocolate you want for Easter. Then you can be on a diet after.